Welcome on into Seven Mountain Sports On Demand. I'm your host, Kyle. You can listen in every single Wednesday to the latest episode on your podcast platform of choice, like the Radio Novo app. You find us over on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now on TikTok at Seven Mountain Sports on all platforms. Just search us up on any of them and find us on YouTube as well for the live shows with myself, with Steve Jones, and Scorebook Stories with Alec. Coming up today, we're breaking down the Stanley Cup. The Florida Panthers go back-to-back, win themselves their second straight Stanley Cup after going to 2 in the last 3 years. We'll break down the Rafael Devers trade latest, what the Red Sox have been saying, and the craziness there, plus Devers' debut in the Bay. Plus, Game 6, NBA Finals going on tomorrow night. Can the Thunder take down the Pacers? And what is going on here in the US of A that does not revolve around American sports? Well, we'll talk about American version of the European football. We'll break that down coming up here on Seven Mountain Sports On Demand. The sun rose this morning in Florida, where in Sunrise, Florida, the Florida Panthers took down the Edmonton Oilers in game number 6, 5-1 to win themselves the Stanley Cup. The Panthers go back-to-back after going to 3 straight Stanley Cup finals. They took down the Oilers, and to no one's surprise, it seems, after Game 5, it looked like they had the momentum on their side. In Game 6, they really showed it. The Panthers win 5-1. They scored 3 in the first 2 periods, shut out the Oilers in the first 2, and took them down 2-1 in the third period as well to make it 5-1 in total. Sam Reinhart had 4 goals on the day. Sergei Bobrovsky had 28 saves, and Matthew Tkachuk had the last goal on the day for the Panthers. The general note here: Panthers are a really good hockey team. We got to see it last night on full display with the TNT crew there. Paul Bissonnette was watching. Charles Barkley was there live hanging out because he loves himself a little bit of hockey. And it felt like the right team won. The right team won this one. Tkachuk and the former now Conn Smythe winner, Sam Bennett, was there. They have an incredible team start to finish. The Panthers, all season they've been strong. They showed it in the playoffs, and they backed it up in the Stanley Cup Finals against the all-world level team of the Edmonton Oilers, who just cannot get over the line. Canada cannot win a Stanley Cup. I don't believe they've won for 2 decades plus at this point. Canada is on a cold streak, but the U.S. is on a hot streak when it comes to hockey. And that was on full display here in the Stanley Cup Finals. The question now turns to the Oilers a little bit because, well, what happened with them? Connor McDavid, one of the greatest of all time, won 3 MVPs. He's one of 4 3-time MVPs without a title in a major U.S. sport. Barry Bonds, Mike Trout, and possibly Jim Brown was an NFL champ, but not a Super Bowl champion. So what does the Oilers going forward look like? What does McDavid's legacy look like going forward? We're going to learn about that and break it down in real time as the months come up here on the show. But right in the heat of the moment, doesn't feel good if you're an Oilers fan. This season felt like the one. Draisaitl's had a great year. Of course, McDavid is all-world. The injury to Jake Hayman was not great, but they still were there, still in the finals. They needed to play better. They did not do so on the defensive side of things to stop the Panthers. Just had too many errors, and the Panthers took advantage down in Sunrise. And the Panthers brought someone in this year from Boston, a team I do not like. They brought Brad Marchand down from the Bruins, and he played a humongous role on this team. He had 10 goals, 10 assists on the season. You had Verhaeghe, 7 goals, 16 assists. Bennett, of course, had 15 and 7, the Conn Smythe winner this year. But Marchand was the final piece of the puzzle for this year's team. Of course, they needed him last year. They still won last year anyway without him. Then this year, they bring him on in, bring in Marchand, and run it up yet again. 2 straight for them. How long can the Panthers go on this streak? Can they three-peat? That is the question we're now asking ourselves. Can the Panthers three-peat? Question is, can they? We don't. The odds of the Panthers three-peating for next season is plus 700, it seems. They're on the same spot that the Avalanche are for next year, another really incredible team from this past season in the NHL, and the Oilers as well. Look like they might win again, purely on the odds they're there. The last team to win 3 straight was the Islanders. Yeah, the New York Islanders actually won something once. They won back in 1983, was the 4th straight title they won. They won from 80 through 83, and then before then was the Canadiens 4 straight years. So back-to-back 4-time champs there. So can the Panthers do what has not been done since the 80s? Well, we'll see next year in the NHL.
There are a lot of podcasts, a lot of social media platforms, a lot of sports games going on all throughout Happy Valley. And the best place to find all of those details and information is on our website, 7mmsports.com. Over there, you can find the full schedule of all the sports going on here in Seven Mountains Media and Seven Mountains Sports. You also can find the latest episodes of all of our podcasts, Sports Talk with Steve Jones, Scorebook Stories, and more. For all those details and information, head over again to our website, 7mmsports.com.
From Boston to the Bay, Rafael Devers has touched down in San Fran. Devers went 2 for 5 yesterday in his debut for them Giants yesterday, where they took on the Cleveland Guardians. And the now DH, who has moved his way from Boston following the crazy blockbuster trade from the Red Sox. Well, he started off hot, that 2 for 5 start with an RBI. Not too shabby if you are Devers, who is, by the way, second in DH voting in All-Star for the All-Star game from the NL. You're saying, how is that possible? Well, he had all the votes of the Red Sox. He would have been number 1 in the AL DH voting, but he is currently behind top vote getter Shohei Ohtani for DH All-Star game votes. But Devers, touchdown, and he has all sights looking forward for the Giants. He is eager to play for them, or quote-unquote, wherever they want him to. This coming out from Jeff Passan from San Francisco, and he was a little bit nervous in his first at-bat. The standing ovation he got, he locked in later, hit that RBI, got himself to a 2 for 5 start for the Giants, who honestly need his help. They have been an average, if not worse than average, baseball team, batting this season 24th in batting average, 22nd in home runs, 20th in OBP. Overall, he helps them in all regards. He has been the Red Sox best hitter in terms of batting average, home runs, OBP, all of it, all season long. So now he makes his way to San Fran. That needs the help. Buster Posey wants to win now. Why not bring in one of, if not the best, quote-unquote, DH in baseball? Heck, he could play third base. He can even play first base, but only if you ask him ahead of time. Don't ask him whenever you need to. Ask him way in advance, like, hey, if anything ever happens, would you mind playing first base a little bit? We want to keep you on the field. We want you to play. And in case of injury, can you swap in? That's all he was asking for from the Red Sox, who are sticking to their guns, saying, well, they couldn't find alignment with the star slugger, with Devers, so needed to trade him, get rid of him. And a lot has been coming out over the past few days. Red Sox saying, oh, well, he was a cancer in the locker room. He wasn't good, this and that. And fans aren't fully buying it. Was there disagreement with the Red Sox and Devers? Yes. Was there alignment between the two? Not at all. The problem is, Devers also has a fair point on a lot of fronts. They shifted him to DH. They got a new third baseman in. And then they were kind of like, last minute, do you want to play first base? And he was like, is it long term or is it just for a week or two? And they said week or two. And he said no. So what do? A year and a half in to his big money 10-year, $300 million deal. They dealt him to San Fran, who took on all the money, reminded Red Sox fans way too much of another man making his way west from Boston to California. In the case of Mookie Betts, who is a future Hall of Famer. A little different in terms of the scale of that one. This is not a Luka Doncic type trade, but the wound is open, and Craig Breslow has opened it back on up. And in recent days, Breslow's been under fire from a lot of people. You had different people like June Lee, formerly of ESPN, talking a bit about Breslow, how the reports are that he is a bit of a not hands-off kind of guy, but not really a good people person when it comes to handling his organization. He loves the analytics, not the people side of things. There's almost a coldness to the Red Sox organization, and this is seen more so in this latest Devers move. Now, for the Red Sox, going forward, they've been red hot, but losing your best hitter is never a positive. They, of course, have a bunch of stars coming up like Christian Campbell, Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, so a lot of players coming up for them that can help going forward, but forward isn't now. The Red Sox want now. The fans want now. They deserve now. And you keep pushing it off for the future. At what point does the future become the present? Well, that's what the Thunder did for years. And finally, it is now here. We'll break down the Thunder in Game 6 coming up in a second.
Sports news happens almost every single second of the day, and the best place to keep up with all of the different sports news and content and the latest clips of all of our shows is over on our social media platforms. Find us on Twitter at Sports7MM, the numeral 7, so Sports7MM on Twitter or X, and then on Facebook at 7 Mountains Sports. Go over the latest content, news, and things going on here with 7 Mountains Sports and all things 7 Mountains Media.
Gainbridge Fieldhouse, get ready. Game number 6 is on the way to Indiana between the Thunder and the Pacers. Game 6 slated for tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. on Thursday, when the Thunder make their way in against the Pacers. Thunder come in prohibitive favorites to win this game and to win the NBA title. They're favored by 5.5, 6.5 points right now across many lines. Plus, the over-under for the game is about 224.5, so 112, 113 should win you the game. And the odds are in the Thunder's favor. And it helps when Tyrese Halliburton's injury history is there, and we do not know the health of the point guard star for the Pacers. We do not know Halliburton's exact whereabouts at this moment in terms of can he play, can he not play. We do not know just yet. We know it's a strained calf, it looks like, per Shams Charania of ESPN. But the extent of his injury is the question. Will he be 100% to go for this game? The Pacers have been pairing as if he is, and if he is not, they're going TJ McConnell at point guard. They've been running a little more Pascal Siakam, ball through him in practices and warm-ups. So one can expect, regardless of Halliburton's health, they're prepared for all different circumstances that may pop up. But if you have no Halliburton, you have no star, it does impact you quite a bit. And the Thunder did not put a lot of Lou Dort on TJ McConnell. Yes, TJ McConnell had a great game, game 5 against the Thunder. The problem is he was facing second unit guys. He was not facing the torture chamber. So if he's put into that, what's the difference? One's got to assume the all first team defensive player will lock him up at least considerably more than he was without Dort on him. And then going forward into this game, for the Pacers, they had not lost back-to-back games in 41 straight games. They had not lost in basically half a season, back-to-back games. They've now lost 2 straight. Will they lose 3 straight is the question the Thunder are now hoping to have happen. Indiana, to extend the series, though, they've been 14-0 when they've scored 110 plus. You get to 111, 112 in this game. They want to win. The problem is, when they score less than that number, 110, they lose. And the Thunder are sitting here with one of the best defensive teams pretty much we've ever seen. I mean, their worst defender on the court any given time might be Isaiah Joe, who's an average defender, and he has not played a lot this series. His minutes have gone down as they've gone up for Kenrich Williams and for Alex Caruso, Isaiah Hartenstein, the rest of the crew. So one's got to imagine the Pacers have to make their threes. You need to see Obi Toppin, you got to see TJ McConnell, Ben Matherin's got to have a good game, Pascal Siakam. They just need to make shots. And they have not been able to do so far in the series in the games they've lost where they haven't scored enough. It's been their 3-ball that has been off. They need everyone to be cooking and on, well, red hot in this game if they have a chance to survive. OKC to close out this game just has to do what they've done the past few games. We need to see more from Chet Holmgren. He's got to score a little better than 4 for 15 from the field. J-Dub, Jalen Williams, has been absolutely dominant. He has put himself into the NBA Finals MVP conversation with how well he's played, putting up 40 in game number 5. Of course, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had like his worst game at 31 points. So at this point, the Thunder need to just keep doing what they're doing, keep making their threes, keep playing hard on defense, and if they keep up what they're going, especially with no Tyrese Halliburton for the Pacers, one's got to imagine game 6 is going to be a quick wrap-up, a quick ender for the Thunder. I don't think we're going back to Bricktown for game number 7. The Thunder, I think, take this home 120 again to 105. I think a similar score line to game number 5. And the championship is won in Gainbridge, just not by the Pacers. Last, we're going rapid fire here on 7 Mountain Sports On Demand. The Club World Cup is going on here in the US of A. The problem is, attendance is not what FIFA thought it would be. Prices are really high. As someone who looked into getting tickets in Philadelphia to go and watch a couple of teams play there and in MetLife in New York, prices real high, attendance real low, because you have real high prices for teams that, like the Urawa Red Diamonds from Japan, I don't want to see them play respectfully. I would love to go and watch Dortmund, but the problem is, do I want to watch Dortmund on a Tuesday at noon in MetLife when I have work? No, Not really. So attendance is down for a lot of these games. The average is about 42,000. We've seen some around 20,000 for games, including Chelsea and Bayern Munich. Teams that should pull in fans aren't, because these games are in the middle of the day. This is the problem with having a World Cup in the US, is America is not on the same work schedule as Europe is, and it is not easy to get that to swap 1-to-1. But at least for those who are going to games, you're getting a lot of good teams playing, whether it is Bayern Munich or Chelsea or Manchester City or Real Madrid. A lot of good teams are playing in the Club World Cup here in the US of A. At the end of the day, I think that Man City will win. I think Manchester City have signed a lot of new players. You have Ryan Ait-Nouri, you have Ryan Cherki. You've got a few new guys hopping on in there, and they're making that team real strong and real scary, especially today's first match for them. Then the other football, the American side of things. Jair Alexander has signed for the Baltimore Ravens following his release from the Green Bay Packers. A two-time Pro Bowler is making his way over to join his former Louisville teammate Lamar Jackson in Maryland. And he played 14 games the past 2 years. He's played almost a full season out of the last two, which is not good for injury history purposes. But when it comes to getting a consummate pro, another guy to add to that back line with Marlon Humphrey and Kyle Hamilton, you're getting a great corner in Jair Alexander. He has 3 interceptions in his 7 career playoff games. So you've got him at least for the year. You can lock him up, lock down some players, hopefully have a better time for him in Baltimore than someone like Marshawn Lattimore has had in Washington following his trade from the New Orleans Saints. We'll have to see how it looks transitioning in terms of older corner to the Baltimore system. I think he should make a good transition. It'll help out in that defense. But again, we'll see. NFL season's still 2 months away until the preseason, so he has a lot of time to learn, a lot of time to be friends with Lamar again following their time in Louisville, Kentucky, playing with the Cards. And that'll wrap up my time today here on 7 Mountain Sports On Demand. Thank you for listening on your podcast platform of choice, on the Radio Novo app, or listening on our YouTube channels with 7 Mountain Sports. You can also find us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on TikTok at 7 Mountain Sports. All the handles bar TikTok are right down there below me here on the screen. If you're watching live, if you're listening live, look up 7 Mountain Sports on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. And for more clips from Scorebook Stories, Sports Talk with Steve Jones, and a whole lot more. Thank you for listening, and shout out to intern David helping today's episode get all the way through, start to finish. And I'll see you next Wednesday for more 7 Mountain Sports On Demand.